like there has been a lot of negative chat around enduro, like online, and a lot of criticism, I guess, of the sport and the coverage of it.
Yeah, it's a shame, I think. Well, it definitely is a shame because it's such a cool sport, and you ride yourself, so you know how fun it is to go out with your buddies, spend a day pedaling through, 4 or 5 different trails, having a holler, and
it's the dream.
Yeah, a laugh in the mud. And it's the type of riding that a lot of people do. A lot of people now do it on a trail bike or an e-bike.
Yeah,
but that's the majority. People finish their work on a Friday, they go out for a Saturday ride with their buddies in the forest on a 150mm, 160mm bike, and then have a beer at the pub after.
Yeah.
And that is what riding is for the majority of what mountain biking is for the majority of the world.
Yeah.
Especially in New Zealand. I don't know, there's more XC stuff in Europe maybe, but
yeah, for sure.
In New Zealand and in Europe too, like a lot of people, especially my age, just love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's such a shame that that people are negative about the sport, or about the racing anyway, because the races actually this year have been epic. We've had some of the courses have been the best we've ever had. We've gone to new locations, went to Alesh, went to Combloux, and Poland.
Yeah.
So half of the races have been new venues, and each new venue has been insane. Especially Poland, the fans there.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty wild trackside.
It was really cool. If anyone from Poland's watching, we loved coming and racing in Poland because the Polish people are so nice and they're so passionate about bike racing.
That's cool.
So yeah, I know the series has been epic this year. I do see your point with the coverage a little bit, and that's something that we're trying to improve. And we're like, these guys, the Warner Bros crew, only have so many resources, and they try their best, but sometimes they just don't have enough resources to turn it around quick enough, or to cover enough of the stages or whatever people want to see.
Yeah.
So John and I just sat down and we thought, okay, well, how can we cover it the best from our point of view?
Yeah.
And it's one-sided. It's my race day, and you're riding along with me. But at least it's something.
Yeah.
And the feedback's been awesome. So yeah, I think hopefully we can just keep. It would be cool. Like Jack Moyer does a really good job of it, and that's what inspired me to start it. And Jesse does a bit of it too. And I think if we just keep doing it ourselves and really building up our own sport, then the tables will turn.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel about the future of enduro? Like, there's so much conflicting information out there and rumors, and it's so hard to get a feel for like the actual pulse of it. Do you feel confident in it in the future? Big question. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one. I definitely feel confident for the enduro as a sport.
Yeah.
Enduro in terms of racing, it's hard because this year, like I said, I think it's been one of the best race series we've had. But people from the outside people from the inside or the outside have been complaining more than usual, or, Pink Bike has been really negative about it. And once one person starts to talk negative, it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So, and this is the problem, because then once people start to think it's not a good thing or it's not valuable, then one brand pulls out, and you know what happens when one brand pulls out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the other brands pull out. So I think next year is going to be interesting. But like I said before, if we just, I believe in it as a sport for sure.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been the biggest fan of Richie Rude since I started riding.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the same with people around the world. Like, a lot of people are fans of people like Richie Rude and Jesse and Jack and the Enduro crew, just as much as the downhill crew. And it doesn't really reflect that when you're here at the races. And the Enduro's on a Thursday or a Friday. And the e-bike's on today, on a Saturday, which is a shame, because it would be quite easy to make a few little organizational changes and really elevate us to similar to that downhill. Yeah. But then this is a question for you.
Okay.
I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm in two minds about having the enduro and the downhill at the same venue on the same weekend. Is it adding or is it taking away from one or the other?
I think it takes away, personally. Like,
from enduro or from both? Or
I think it mostly takes away from enduro, I would say. Like, I think people, and understandably, like downhill and XC are the halo sports, right? You can live broadcast them I'm not going to say it's easy because it isn't. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but you're realistically never going to be able to do that, not fully anyway, with enduro. And I think so. Those are the sports that people know more and that they come to see. So you put enduro in the same venue with a schedule that has some overlap. Where are the fans going to go? And not only at the event, but like online, people only have so much time to read articles and watch videos and all this kind of stuff. If enduro's on a weekend when there's no downhill, you're going to consume the enduro coverage. If it's on the same weekend as the downhill and you've already watched the live broadcast,
the qualities, the semis,
hopefully listen to the downtime pre and post race podcast, like all of this stuff, you run short of time, right? So maybe you don't dip into the enduro coverage. So yeah, my personal view, I think it's cool to be able to come to an event that they're both at, because you can kind of get 2 for 1 and you can go and see you guys and you can go and see the downhill lot. But I don't think it works well for enduro.
The negatives.
The downsides.
I agree. I think, you made some really good points there, and it's just the online point is really a huge one, because right now, like the world, it's all online. Everything is on the internet.
Yeah.
And if you, like I used to be a massive fan of watching F1, and now during the summer, I'm usually racing most weekends that the F1's on.
Yeah.
And I never go back and watch the race.
Yeah.
Or even the highlights, just because my weekend gets away from me and then it's Monday and I'm focused on the next week.
Yeah.
So I've hardly watched F1 anymore because I'm racing. And that's the same as you just mentioned with the other people watching the downhill.
Yeah. There's only so much time, right?
Yeah.
And you want to ride your bike on a weekend as well. So you just can't get that deep into coverage. So I think, a calendar that, admittedly, it makes travel things more challenging and maybe we consume more energy as a sport, but like having a schedule that spreads the events out a bit more throughout the year. I mean, we've had this big break in the summer that in theory could have been filled with some racing that would have got some attention because everyone was frothing for watching racing, right?
Yeah. Well, especially for enduro, like we weren't at the Olympics or we weren't in the Enduro World Champs either.
Yeah.
So there's no reason we couldn't have had racing.
Yeah.
But I guess we got to take it into our own hands as well. Like I went and did a French Cup a few weeks ago just to build for this race.
Okay.
And Rodot was there. He was racing as well. And Greg Callahan was there, and it was a good crew. And that was epic. I was like, I've definitely come to more of these.
Okay, sweet.
It's just like 2 big days of riding,
Yeah.
sort of like old school EWS style. And I had heaps of fun. The tracks were amazing. So I'm thinking like, if we have this good media system that we've got with John and myself and TP and the setup, then we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, you can take that to any race, right? Yeah.
And just reuse the same recipe.
Yeah, and it's all pushing enduro in a positive direction.
Yeah. But I think the main thing is like us riders and hopefully if anyone's watching this from the general public, like enduro right now, it's in a good place. The racing's insane. The skills from the top dudes and top girls are insane. Everyone's fit. The courses are brutal. They're super physical and hard. And the stages are mint. Like anyone would come out and ride these stages and just have a ball of a time.
Yeah.
So I think, we're in a good place. So if everyone just starts talking positive about it and the riders don't complain on social media, if you say, hey, it was really, really tough, but we made it through and I'm stoked, like that's so much better than saying, oh, it was too long, it was too hard, it was too this.
Yeah.
So it's just reframing that perspective slightly.
Yeah.
And it will make the sport, we'll elevate ourselves for sure.
Yeah. And I think that like the fans have an ownership there too as well, right?
Yeah.
To try and
get
excited for it and support it. No, but it's true. Like it rubs off, and it, brands feel that negative energy seems to have, especially online, has way more power than positive energy. Like it stands out, it drags other people in to be negative as well. And brands see that and they're like, well, maybe we will reconsider our investment here. Like there is an onus, I think, to some extent on those of us that love the sport to be positive and to get behind it, right? Because we don't want to see it disappear.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you're just watching a highlight video of an enduro or just an enduro clip, then just commenting like, wow, this is epic or something.
Yeah.
That little thing makes a huge difference. And like you said, if you're a brand and you see one negative comment, that's going to stand out.
Yeah.
And that might be the catalyst for you to consider changing your investment.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can avoid any negative comments, I mean, it's impossible on the internet.
Yeah. And it's fair, right? People, they deserve a right to voice their opinions and stuff.
And there's often valid opinions.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But especially if the valid opinions are coming from outside is one thing. Or sorry, the controversial opinions. But
yeah.
I don't think they should be coming from inside. Like if you're racing and you don't like it,
yeah,
you should have a safe place that's confidential that you can go and give your feedback.
Yeah.
But it's not public.
Yeah, okay.
And if you're racing and you still don't like it, then just don't race.
Yeah, okay.
Like we're choosing to race.
Yeah.
Like no one is forcing me to race this weekend.
Yeah.
We're paying the entries. We're coming because we want to race. So no one's forcing you to race. But I think there's definitely a place for feedback. And when things aren't, like no one's perfect.
Yeah.
No one gets the course and the liaison times correct every time. That's fine. We can deal with that. But as long as you don't go on social media and complain about it, you just go to a safe space that's confidential, and then it can be fixed for the next race. So I think there's some stuff that we can improve on for sure, but we're moving in the right direction.